many people say, ஒரு டெசிஷன் எடுக்கிறோம், at the time when we take a decision, is this the right decision? Will you ever know when you take a decision whether it's the right decision? I win the toss, okay? I win, all of you know cricket, so some I know from overseas countries where cricket may not be all that much. I win the toss. I elect to bat. Is it a good decision or a bad decision? Only after you win the match, absolutely. So if I win the match, my deciding to bat is a Dhoni mari kadayadu, enna decision edutha theruma. So all of those, therefore, brilliant idea, good decision, bad decision, all based finally on execution. And therefore, I would also say, must be prepared as entrepreneurs that whatever we take up, we are in a position to execute. And as you execute, I know many enterprises, many businesses where what we started off was something else. In 2 years, we are doing something else, completely different. And our success came from completely different thing from what we started. But it is in execution and in fine-tuning. And today there's a lovely word called pivoting. Okay, you keep therefore shifting a little bit. But it's important that execution is something. Let's focus on. Next one, please. Size or substance? How many say, all of today, because you must all seen many entrepreneurial forums, people will come, they'll talk, whenever you start, you must think global. You must think global. How many think size is important? Global only. Only global. Substance is important. I'll share with you one small incident. I'll keep it in English for the benefit of many. I had to go to a small town in the interior of Tamil Nadu called Karaikudi. How many know Karaikudi here? Some of you, those from Tamil Nadu will know. It's a small town. I was going there for the first time. So I called up some of my friends who are from that place and said, hey, look, I need to go to Karaikudi. What do you think is a good hotel for me to stay? They said, hey, JK, though there are some others, there's this hotel right opposite the bus stand. Pretty good, so you can. They gave me some number. I called up and booked myself there. And my friends also told me to reach Karaikudi, don't try and think in terms of taking a flight. By the time you take a flight, go to Madurai, go somewhere, etc., it will be 11:30, 12 by the time you reach Karaikudi. Trains are not convenient because by the time you reach again, half the day would be gone. Please take an overnight bus. So I decided to take an overnight bus, and that bus lands at 5 a.m. bang opposite the hotel. So I went there 5 a.m. I had just one small bag because I was leaving back in the evening. So just one bag, went, walked across, went into the hotel. I have been to many such things where when we travel, especially early in the morning, even forget 5-star, any lower grade hotels, when you go, somebody's sleeping on the counter, somebody's got one rug fully covered, protecting himself against mosquitoes and stuff. You need to wake him up, and then you need to get whatever you need. Here I go into this hotel in Karaikudi. Though the conversation was in Tamil, I'll translate, keep it in English. So he said, Mr. Krishnan? I said, yes. Sir, your room is ready. You can just give me your credit card number. Rest you can do later. You may be tired. You can right now, if you wish to go take a nap, I can wake you up at whatever time, 7 o'clock or something. My boy will come. You can have coffee. We have only 2 English papers in this town. You tell me which one you want. I'll get it for you, etc., etc. This boy came with me, went to the room, clean bed sheet, took me into the bathroom, clean towel, soap, everything, and he told me what is to be done. He said, call me if you want, etc., etc. Some small things. I was impressed. Small hotel. But there's something here which I want to underline. Though we may say size, to me substance therefore means the class and the quality that we build in whatever it is. Though there can be global size, in my mind there is nothing called local class, regional class, national class, and then world class. World class has to be there in what we do, where we do, in whatever size it is, and therefore substance in that form in terms of focusing on that class and quality that needs to go into whatever we deliver, I think is a very important ingredient as far as an enterprise is concerned. Next one. Therefore, this is my last slide. Anyone can become an entrepreneur, which means first, education is no bar. படிச்சிருந்தாலும் ஓகே, படிக்கலைனாலும் ஓகே. பல பேருக்கு தெரியும் ஸ்கூல் ட்ராப் அவுட்ஸ்லாம் தான் பெஸ்ட் ஆண்டர்பிரினர்ஸ்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. They tell us that only those who have dropped out of school become great entrepreneurs. So, education is no bar. Age is no bar. 15 வயசுலையும் ஆகலாம், 65 வயசுலையும் ஆகலாம். Age is no bar. At any age, you can become an entrepreneur. Gender is no bar. Men, women, boys, girls, all can get into becoming an entrepreneur. There's this lovely little story. There's a position in church called the verger. The verger, he's the assistant to. I find that from past records that you don't know how to read and write. And the church now is promoting literacy, and the church therefore wants to make sure that everybody, first in our own place, should be literate. So he says, yeah, but I tried, but I could never get to know how to read and write, and I gave up because it wasn't coming in the way of what I do, and I'm doing a great job here. So I said, yes, you do that, but since the church now is promoting literacy, we cannot have in our employment somebody who doesn't know how to read and write. But because you've been with the church for so many years, I will give you this concession. I will give you 3 months. And if in 3 months, if you can know how to read and write, you can continue being a verger in this church. He thinks about it. Then and there he decides, look, what I haven't learned, I'm now 45, I haven't learned this particular thing for so many years. It's not going to be possible for me to learn this in 3 months. So he tells the vicar, I don't think it's possible. Whatever, therefore, you as a church needs to do, if I need to resign, so be it. He says that, walks out of the church, he has to walk home. Normally he takes a particular path to walk home, but that day because he was so disturbed, he loses that route, goes off into another route, which is a long road. While on that road, he thinks, hey, good if I could have a cigarette because I'm very disturbed, and looks around. There are a few shops, but there is no shop where he could buy a cigarette. He checks it again. It's a long road. He says, hey, no shop here. Like me, there could be many people who are walking on this road who may want to have a cigarette. Why don't I just start one small shop here, take all my savings, do that. Goes home to his wife and he says, this is what's happened. Vicar said, I need to go. I'm going to take all my savings and I'm going to start one cigarette shop. He said, you're mad or what? He said, no, but that's what I'm going to do. And he sets up a cigarette shop on that road. In a year's time, it does well. So he's a tobacconist, newspaper agent, other things, small things he does. And he says, hey, I can put a manager here. And then he goes and finds one more long road outside of London which doesn't have a cigarette shop, and he sets up another cigarette shop. Starts to do well. In 10 years, he's got 10 shops all around London, all doing well. Every Monday, he'll go to these shops. Now he's got managers there. He'll just collect the money collected from the previous week, go put it, deposit it in his bank. He deposits in the bank. Bank manager one day calls him and he says, Mr. Thomas, do you know you've got 30,000 pounds lying in your account? And that's a huge amount of money. You should invest it. He says, no, I don't know anything about all the stocks and shares and this. He says, you don't need to do anything. We'll do it for you. He says, but he said, all you need to do is, we have a contract, we'll manage this all. You go through the terms and conditions of the contract, you just need to sign. He said, but I can't read this contract. What do you mean you can't read this contract? He said, look, I don't know how to read or write. I can only sign my name. You don't know how to read or write? You're such a successful businessman. Imagine what would have happened if you knew how to read or write. He says, I know. I would have been a verger in the church. opportunities get created. Anyone can become an entrepreneur. Next one, please. You can too. Thank you.
Thank you, JK. As usual, lively, story-filled, humorous speech. I'm damn sure you'll be having quite a few questions. The next speaker is Ramnath Esmani. He graduated from IIT Kharagpur in 1969 with a degree in Electronics and Electrical Communication Engineering. Started his career in DBK Electronics, pioneered the introduction of industrial automation in India in the early 70s, instrumental in executing large automation systems in India for paper mills, cement plants, metal industry, sugar plants, automobile industry, the list goes on. He backed with his extensive knowledge. He promoted in 1991 a startup named RSM Electronics Private Limited. In 1993, got a joint venture with Control Techniques Emerson Industrial Automation, USA. In 2008, he divested his share in the JV in favor of his partner, Emerson Electric. Since 2008 to 2013, he is the chairman of Emergy Software. He has traveled extensively, had been responsible for entering into a number of international tie-ups, collaborations, and joint ventures. He now runs a company, Automation Excellence Private Limited, runs a comprehensive portal on automation. The name of it is www.automationconnect.com. Very active member of IWMA, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, CII, and Automation Industry Association. Member of the Executive Committee of Pan IIT Alumni Association, and he is presently the president of IIT Kharagpur Alumni Foundation, India. Not just on this line, he has quite a few to talk of other things also. Closely connected with various social NGOs, president of Hamzatvani, a cultural organization, vice president of Mylapore Academy, as a managing trustee of an educational trust. He runs a matriculation school for the underprivileged and first generation schoolgoers in Tandalam village, 45 kilometers from Chennai. Very impressive. So we are waiting to hear your talk, Mani.
I have been, of course, asked to talk right after JK. Difficult. Because I think, it was extremely lively. And I think it was a talk which is close to everybody's heart, including mine. Therefore, he stole the show even for me. What I am going to tell you now today is, of course, use my experience being in this field for, in the field of industrial automation for over 40 years. Probably most fortunate to have seen technology grow from practically nothing in industrial automation, because industrial automation actually found its way into India in the early 70s when I started. I was one of the first automation, I would say, group of automation engineers who were involved in the automation industry. And I've seen it grow and change in technology in the last 4 decades. Just to give you a perspective of, the time span which I have been involved and I have been in this field. Actually, my daughter passed out her engineering from IIT Madras about 18 years back. So, that's where I am. And I'm going to take you through a bit about what is factory automation and then how technology is evolved and where it is moving towards. And I presume, this will give you also an opportunity to know that there are great opportunities for electrical, communication engineers, people with good domain knowledge to work in factories.